Okay guys, welcome back. We have our budget build EM2 that we are doing a K-swap. As you guys can see, well, it hasn't been hit by a deer no more, but this isn't actually fully done, so we're gonna walk you through that. So as you'll see, the front end is on the car, guys. And we come here. This fits good. This isn't up in spot yet, because if I lift up on this, it closes the gap, as you see. So if you are new to this build, what it is we started off with $2,000 American, which equals about $2,640 Canadian at the exchange rate the day we got this car. So this is the third episode. We bought this car smashed. We are doing a K24A2 swap because I want to show that it's easy to do a K24A2 swap and it's easy to buy a car and build it for under $2,000 American, and that's how we have this. Now in the last video, I got my little sticky note here. We started out, we had a total amount spent on our second video, $215. We started off with 2 cars and we bought a TSX. You will notice that A, it's not smashed no more. B, the reverbs on it. This side skirts aren't. And you go over here and that reverb side skirt's just sitting in spot. And we have the reverb rear bumper on it as well. So the front bumper, rear bumper, and side skirts were changed to reverb. A, because we bought a reverb for a parts car. B, I sold the old kit that was on this car. So the whole point of this build is to do this build as cheap as possible so you guys can do it at home and realize that a K-swap isn't, you know, $5,000, $6,000 to do. So the old car, the silver one that we got body panels from and the rad support from, was a manual car. We sold the manual transmission and wiper motor for $220 Canadian. We sold the strut bar and intake for $125. And we sold the old front bumper that was smashed. It had the front lip, the EL side skirts, and the rear bumper for $250, which gave us a total income of $595 from the parts car as of then. So that puts us at a positive of 300 and... So with the old body kit, or old lip kit sold and the old rear bumper sold, we did junk the other silver EM2, and that's where the reverb kit came from. And we got $180 in scrap weight by junking the old car after selling the parts off, and it kept the parts we wanted to keep. We kept the dash, because we're swapping this to 5-speed. We need to have, well, I thought it was easier to have the 5-speed dash harness, so I don't got to worry about it. I kept the pedals, I kept the shifter box, the cables, which I don't need because I'm going to be running whatever transmission we decide to run on the K-swap. So that gave us a total of $580 profit after the net of $215 from the last video. So we have $580 to spend on this car to K-swap it. And right now, there's nothing in this engine bay. Let me show you. So I did test this stuff off of video, but now we're going to take all that apart and weld it up because this isn't welded in spot. The fenders are just sitting there. This whole front end is not even bolted in spot, so we do have to address that whole situation. You will know that the Civic has a brand new front glass in it. The last one was broken. I had to buy that front glass because what ended up happening is when they went to pull the old glass out of the silver EM2, it actually broke. So I was on the hook of buying a front glass. That front glass cost me $340 installed. Okay, so when we're back here, you will notice that the back glass was changed as well. Just because it had tint was peeling and looked stupid. My whole plan is to make this car a nice car, and then I'm going to end up selling it to help fund the all-wheel drive Acura EL 7th gen that we're going to be building next. So this whole car is going to be sold. Side glass, I left. Kind of wanted to pull it because you can see that right there how it's starting to, the tint's starting to peel up. I don't like that. In the last video and this video, we came in the profit of $560. So that gave us a positive. That's really not that bad. $560 to play with. But we did get the front glass changed at $340, and we did get the rear glass done, and I had to buy this hood. The old hood off the Silver EM2 was no good, and because the old hood was no good, that cost me $50. So we are total $150 on this project. So realistically, $150 isn't all that bad, but now what we gotta do is we gotta take the fenders off. You can still see, I can probably weld that little piece up there, but you're gonna see inside a couple self-tapping screws, which is holding this rod support. That that's not bolted in yet, and this whole rod support is actually nice and tight, but you can see vice grips are holding the middle piece together, and there's self-tapping screws everywhere else. So what we're going to have to do is take the fenders off, headlights out, and we're going to have to weld this up.
Who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. And you ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah. I'm changing who I
end up starting to do some spot welds here, so this can be welded in spot. We already know it's all test fitted, it all fits fine. So now it's time to get the welder out, we'll weld that up. And then we have to address our welds, because we're going to have to paint the rod support. But if I'm going to paint the rod support, I'm going to K-swap this. Why not do the engine bay? And like that, guys, it is all welded up. Nice and solid. As you see, it's just normal rod support yet again. So we're gonna have to grind all the welds down just so we can clean it up. Once they're grounded down, we are gonna put some fiberglass on it, which is normal. Just seals the weld. As you see, it's there. So now what we're gonna do is, I gotta paint this rod support because I welded on it and it looks like poop. And if I'm gonna sell this car later on down the road, I want this looking nice. So this whole engine bay has to be cleaned up. We're gonna take out the stuff we don't need. Right off the bat, cruise control, I'm ditching. AC, I'm getting rid of. And then, well, we still haven't talked about the mounts. Woohoo, that's warm. So what are we gonna do with the engine mounts on this car? Now, this is a budget build. Budget build means I have $2,640 to spend, $2,000 American. I'm into it for, I think, $150 right now. So yes, it is in budget that we could buy a set of hand sport mounts for this, and away we go. But that's not how I work. I like to do things hands-on. I like to do a little bit of research and then just jump in with 2 feet and hope that it works out. And this is going to be a good example of what we're going to do. So let me tell you what we're going to do. My plan is we're going to clean up this engine bay. We're going to drill this out. We're going to use the stock RSX mounts and the stock body part of the RSX. So we're going to drill this one out like we did the rod support. And then we are going to drill out the one out of an RSX, put that in, we're going to use RSX mounts, which means we're going to have to use an RSX K-frame to help everything go up in spot, and it bolts right in and it kind of makes things easy. Same with over here. There's the transmission mount here. We're going to drill out all those spot welds. We're going to pull that out. So I guess the only thing left to do now is start disassembling this engine bay, getting it ready to pull everything out. So now with the engine bay mostly cleared out, we got to take this motor mount off and this transmission mount off so we can get what we're going to do to it. So now the fun begins of drilling out all the spot welds.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo,
yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'm ever stopping.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me. But they hate from inside, you see, hate themselves in society. So I let them speak quietly while my actions speak wider. See, they be hiding in privacy with the screen. Oh, the irony to hate someone who's trying to be whatever they would like to be. We all feel the anxiety, we make our own rivalries. Yo, so where is all the positivity? I feel like we all just hate on everything, it's killing me. Thoughts build quick, causing different possibilities. Negative.
Okay, so I'm going to call it a day on this and this episode, but I'm going to show you what we did do today. And we got probably a good jump start on the K-swap. So you'll see that the driver's side engine mount is off. I'm going to have to fix a couple of spots that I tore the metal. That's no big deal. I'll weld it up, grind it down, because the transmission mount will go in a different spot anyways. As you see here, this is the RSX engine mount. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit, get that welded up. Then I'm going to get the motor and tranny side in the K-frame. Put the K-frame up, I'll know where that needs to go, and away I go. Now this came out of the RSX, I parted out. We'll talk about that at a different time because it's part of this build as well. But I guess I cut a spot that I shouldn't have cut, not paying attention. So I did save the old one. So what I plan on doing is I will probably cut it straight across here, cut around here since I don't need that part there. I'll grind the nut off of this, use the nut as a judgment point for this one right there. And that will give me the spot so I can weld it up through here and not have it cut off there. Mind you, if I welded that and I came through here and I welded that up solid, say through there, and maybe did a lap joint through there, that's not gonna move anyways, but I kinda wanna have it so it comes up the way it should. Unfortunately, this is the first time I have K-swapped an EM2 or even owned, well, not owned, because I've owned EM2s before, but first time modifying one. So I wasn't paying attention when that was cut. I didn't cut that actually, Chris did, but it isn't a big deal. Stuff happens and, you know, we'll just move forward, we'll make it work. If you're new to the channel, guys, subscribe, turn on post notifications, because in part 4, this is part 3, part 4, we're gonna get the motor and transmission sat in spot, get the mount set up. That way we can prep the whole entire engine bay, grind all the welds down, and get it ready for paint. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one, and we'll definitely catch you on the next.